Haha. I said sweet intro as always. What's up?
Always doing some kind of
goofy thing at the intro. It's like you have to now, or else that's not the podcast.
Yeah. If Megan doesn't do something weird on the podcast, not posting it.
No. Hello. Oh my gosh, we haven't done a podcast since last year.
Oh.
Haven't seen you guys since last year.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all that fun jazz. Hope you guys had a wonderful holiday and got to spend time with your family. And
yeah, I did. I had a good Christmas, Spent some time with my dad and that crew. Spent some time with my mom and that crew. Spent some time with Mike and that crew. So it was good. It was really good. And your Christmas was good?
yeah, I went to my sister's New Year's Eve. I stayed there New Year's and Christmas. New Year's Eve, we just had appetizers and watched a movie. And then Christmas was Friday. No.
Christmas was Saturday.
Saturday, yeah. So then Christmas Day, we had turkey dinner and all that fun stuff. And my good friend Jason came over because he wasn't anywhere for Christmas. So he came over, and then my girlfriend Jessie came over and to my sister's, and we just had a good old time playing games and eating. And well, I did mushrooms, but
that's always a good time.
yeah, except for, I don't know, like I took less than a gram, but I still had like a really like nauseous come up. And then I don't know, I was like in between like a trip and not tripping, so it was kind of a whatever time.
That's the worst, when you're in between.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I really find that like I don't think I really like doing mushrooms, and I don't like doing them away from home, I think. And I don't like doing them when I'm cooped up inside. Like I like to be out in nature when I do them.
Yeah, even if it's for 20 minutes.
Yeah. Like I had like the 3D vision, like everything was kind of like not like crazy, but just like a little bit, you get like that little bit of movement in your eyes or whatever.
Yeah.
Where, like everything's kind of like, when you look at the...
Everything's
like
pulsing.
Yeah, like when that day where we did them in, I don't know, last winter sometime.
Was it winter?
Last March.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and we were on like the verge of tripping all night, but then like towards the end, like the counter, remember the counter was like all glossy looking?
Every time we stood up, it was like, whoa.
And
that
like,
was funny.
but I was really nauseous that time too.
Me too. But I think that time, like, we were so like new to it, I think.
Well, we did like the mushroom tea, and we kind of screwed it up doing, like, we didn't know how to make it.
Right, we did that. I forgot we did that. And we didn't take enough. And we weren't active. Like, I really feel like you have to do something when you do mushrooms. We just were like, let's watch these movies.
Yeah.
And like, hindsight now, I think every time I've ever just watched movies, you never really get the full effect until you're looking away from the movie, and then your friend or your counter or whatever.
Yeah.
So.
Or then you also get like, leave her alone. You get,
Oh, Henry.
You get, I think if you get up and go outside and go for a walk, because every time we've done that, it's been a good time.
Yeah. Except that one time when we were like, that, just like, it was weird. It was like an in-betweener, because we didn't measure it. Remember?
Yeah. Well, I kind of freaking disappeared for a while.
Yeah, we were like in a totally different dimension that time. So I guess that was a good trip, but like, it was a weird one.
Yeah. And I think if you get out and like walk, and like typically, like if we're doing like a trip, we lemon tech, which is where you soak them in, you grind them up and soak them in lemon. And what it does is it mimics like your stomach acid. So it already starts breaking it down, because that's the part when your stomach's breaking it down is what makes you nauseous. Mm-hmm. And I think like if you get up too and you like walk and stuff, you don't hyper focus on it. Just sitting there.
You're not waiting for it to hit you. You're just like doing whatever. And then it hits you.
And then you don't notice the nauseousness as much, and maybe just being active kind of like gets it through your system better too.
Mm-hmm. And like honestly, since I've been kind of just dabbling in mushrooms, like, because we did them for the first time in a long, like we used to do them a long time ago and party with them, but like since we did them in March, then we've done them a few times and
in
went on
April, I think.
Yeah,
end of April. Easter.
Yeah,
Easter
that's
Sunday.
That's right, because we ate all those fucking mini eggs. So good. And those peeps, But yeah, since I've been like doing them just kind of to like open up my mind and not like party. Where I remember where I was going with this, but I find that like, I don't know, I can control, I like don't get like the anxiety, I don't get the nauseousness, because I just like know, I'm just like, here it is, there it goes, here it is, there it goes. And like, but it's been helping me, like, I don't know, I feel like just more focused in my brain. Like I feel more capable, I feel more confident, I feel more like less afraid. Like I just feel like just, yeah, all those things. I feel good. And so I'm really glad that more and more people are starting to accept them as like neurological drugs. Like if you have depression, if you have bipolar, I even like very briefly talked with my family about like, you guys should give grandma mushrooms for her dementia, because she's so bad. Like she does not know where she is. She doesn't know what pet she has. She doesn't know where she lives. Like, and so me and my brother were kind of talking about like, what if we just gave her mushrooms? And my brother was like, it might open a door that you can't open. And she's at the age where it's like, she doesn't really have the time to like work through things. I don't know. Maybe she does.
I don't know. Because like dementia, like, I don't know if it would, because like dementia, I have to look into exactly what it is, but isn't like your brain deteriorated? So like, would it bring it back? Like, I would not. Yeah. I highly would not suggest just giving grandma fucking mushrooms unless it was in a clinical setting.
No, and like definitely like research it and like talk to doctors about it, like knowledgeable doctors. Don't just give anybody mushrooms thinking it's gonna help them. Like obviously, but it's just an interesting thought, because yeah, it is the deterioration of the brain, but because of all these studies they've done with like mushrooms and depression and stuff, it like takes certain neurons in your brain that aren't connecting properly, and it forms a bridge and connects them.
See, and but so, like the thing, if you're like why I said like maybe it wouldn't work is if dementia, if it's like deteriorating your brain, like if it's not actually your neurons that are,
it's your actual brain matter.
Yeah, that's what I have to look into.
And her dementia is like 95. We're 95% sure it's alcohol induced, because she was an alcoholic for so long.
Oh, then I don't like. That's probably like heavy damage.
So it's probably. But I like said like to my mom and them like, man,
maybe just make her seem normal for a little bit.
Yeah, like wouldn't it just be interesting? Like maybe we could have a couple real conversations with her before she goes. Like, you know, because right now, like you ask her if she has a cat, and she's like, oh yeah, I've had a cat for 6 months. It's orange. And then 10 minutes later, do you have a cat? Oh yeah, I've had this cat for 5 years. It's white and its name is Stupid. And like, it's heartbreaking, because like as much as she was like, I don't know, it just sucks. Dementia fucking is hard to deal with, and I fucking pray for my mom every single day. Like she has the strength to take care of that. It's like,
yeah, I feel like that, and I always like butcher it. What is it? Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's.
People always call it old timers, but, but it's Alzheimer's.
Yeah, like
with a Z and an H.
Yeah, with a Z. Yeah.
Yeah.
That one's another really bad one too. Like my great grandma had that, and my grandma took care of her, and they set her up in like a hospital bed and everything. And like she was also blind. Like she'd been blind for a while. And so that was really hard, like being blind on top of having that. And then she kind of like reverted like back to like speaking French, and like she'd like pick flowers out of the air, you know, like hallucinate and stuff. And that was really sad and hard, and you know, like what a like crappy way to like end your life. Like that stage of your life is like, it's basically you revert back to being a baby and taking care of like a baby.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely. Like
you have to wear a diaper and you gotta change them, and they basically like at the end she just was basically comatose laying there. Like
my grandma doesn't even know if she should eat. Like she doesn't, you know what I mean? She doesn't know when she's we fucking so fucked up. I forgot all about this. I haven't even told you this, but so her like favorite thing in the world is chocolate bars. Sorry. And so I gave her these fucking, oh man, this is so funny. So yeah, her favorite thing in the world is chocolate bars, and so I bought her like one of these. It was shaped like a stocking, and it had an assortment of different candy bars in it. Because I was like, Grandma needs to try some, because she always wants caramel. So I was like, I'll buy her a variety. She sits down at this table that Remy was doing a puzzle, and so she sat down at the table with Remy to do a puzzle with her, and I gave her this gift, and she had all these chocolate bars. And so I gave it to her, and then she was doing the puzzle with Remy, and then me and my brother are talking. Me and my mom are like talking and whatever. And all of a sudden, I'm like, whoa, Grandma, like, slow down. Like, save some for when you get home. And then we look, she fucking ate 4 chocolate bars before, like, I caught her or noticed. Because she's just, like, a savage. She like, it doesn't have, like, the sensation to, like, stop. She just fucking, like, she ate a Dairy Milk, a Cadbury, a fucking, like, literally 4 full-size chocolate bars.
Oh, they're full. I was just going to ask.
Full-size chocolate bars. Like, just, and so I'm like, Grandma, and I see all the wrappers. I'm like, holy fuck. And then my mom's like, get all the chocolate away from her. Like, so it is like going back to being a kid. And so my mom goes and buys groceries for her, but only puts like half the groceries in the house and then keeps half at her house. Otherwise, my grandma will fucking plow through candy and chocolate and like anything that's a snack pack. Like, you can't even set her up for snacks because she'll fucking just eat all the snacks. She just doesn't have like, oh man, it's fucked. And so this is gonna sound like totally fucked. I love my grandma and like we're taking care of her. Like, don't take this the wrong way, but I told my boyfriend, like, if I ever get to the point where I don't know where I am, I don't know who I'm with, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, please just get me out of the picture. Like, I don't want to be that burden on anyone. Like, I don't. And, you know, my grandma didn't ask for this, so of course, you know, it is what it is, and we're doing our best. But
it's one of those things too, like, because I think they're starting to kind of like play around with assisted suicide a little bit.
Euthanasia,
yeah, or what do they call it? Assisted.
It's called euthanasia. Yeah.
Assisted
suicide.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, that's what they call it when you euthanize an animal. But I wasn't sure if like what the terminology was for it. But I guess they're like starting to kind of dabble in that a little bit. But like, if you've already lost your mind, like, how are you giving consent? Like, she does, like, at that point you can't give consent.
That's
so, like,
why I'm giving consent now. Like, it's here, you know, like.
No, but like, I wonder if that's like something you can talk with your doctor about, like, when you start slipping, because you typically like start slipping, and then like you have good days and you have bad days. Yeah. Like good days where you're coherent and you know, and then eventually you just deteriorate until it's just and days of nothing.
And she used to have a lot of good days, but it's just been like
so like I wonder if you get diagnosed, like, oh, you're coming out dementia or Alzheimer's. Like, I wonder if they'll, like, it'd be nice if they came up with a program that was like, okay, if you get to the point where you don't know where you are and you need like basically assistance 100% of the time, do you want to go with this option? Or like, once it's time that you need to go into a home, like, if you get to that point, like, you can you sign a waiver being like, nope, kind of like a do not resuscitate, like, do not put me in a home? Because like, every person that I've ever talked to that's like worked in a home has had awful things to say about them.
Right.
So like, there's very few and far between like good homes, it seems like.
Like, if my grandma was in a home, like, they could be doing anything to her, torturing her or whatever. And I don't think people do that, but like,
that's literally been caught. There's people been caught doing it. Like, people have been charged.
And that's one of the reasons my mom like refuses to put her in a home, because she doesn't want that to happen to her. And she doesn't want her to have to be a prisoner, because like a lot of these fucking nursing homes are still on lockdown, which is like fucked. A lot of these old people want to see people. Like, they would rather see people and get COVID than die. And I've heard that out of their mouths. So fucking yay. But anyway, what were we talking?
Well, I don't know. And like with the nursing homes, like, I'll just say, like, it would, like, not saying that it's right that people abuse them, because that's fucking horrendous. And if you're at that point where you don't have any patience anymore, like, you have to be a saint to work there, because, like, yeah, it would be trying. It'd be like dealing with oversized children. Like, for some of them, like, some of them are obviously still good, but then, like, when they get to that point where they don't know where they are, they can't go to the bathroom on their own anymore, like, you're literally, like, babysitting. And some of them, like, they get combative sometimes too. So, like, yeah, it does, like, it takes, like, you have to have high tolerance, high patience. But, like, if you get to that point where, like, you're starting to get rough with them, like, just quit your job, find something else to do. Like, it's sad. Like, it, like, that goes along with, like, abusing animals and abusing children. That goes right along with that, because abusing the elderly, like, they didn't ask for that.
No.
They didn't want to be in that home.
And they deserve more respect than that. Like, we do not respect our elders the way that, well, you know what I mean.
And for the price you pay to put somebody in a home, too.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, unless you have an arm and a leg to fucking pay for one of those private homes, like, even the private homes are scary, but some of these, like, government-assisted homes, the budget cuts never stop. And so they feed them shit. They have shit workers. They have, you know what I mean? Well, and not even necessarily shit workers, but people who aren't getting paid enough money, in my opinion, for what they're doing.
Yeah.
And so I would be shitty at work, too, if I was only making this much money, you know, to do such an important job. And such a, like, labor-intensive job, too.
It's like how insensitive it kind of sounds, but, like, if they had, like, an assisted, like, euthanasia program or whatever, then at least when you got, then maybe, like, so many of these homes wouldn't be overrun. But also, like, back in the day, like, you know, families would take in the elderly. Yeah. We would take care of them, just like my grandma took care of, like, my great-grandma. But, like, that doesn't happen anymore because people, you know, they don't, like, there's just no work ethic anymore. There's no, like, nobody wants to help each other anymore. Like, you know.
That's so true. Like we should be taking care of our moms and dads. Like,
but if we're not going to, and if the, you know, homes are just going to keep getting overran, like, if they had that option, like, I know lots of people that, like, would refuse. Like, if they knew that they were going into a home, they would probably go kill themselves first if they were coherent enough to know that that's where they were going.
And not even necessarily because, like some people it's an independence thing, but for some people it's just like, no, those people are gonna torture me. Like,
they know what it's like there.
And nurses, like, I've heard stories of, like, nurses given double doses of sleeping pills just so they don't have to fucking deal with people.
Or, like, if they're not eating their food quick enough, they take it away from them. Or, like, they get mad at them that they need to eat. Like, how do you get mad at someone for trying to eat their food?
I know. And, like, granted, like, we had to slap a fucking chocolate bar out of my grandma's hand. And so, like, maybe there's fucking some, like, necessary things there. But, like, for the most part, just be nice to old people. Like, but I'm one to talk. Like, I'm not in that industry. I'm not out there, like, you know, helping the elderly. But I respect
but, like,
those
know
who do.
that if it's not for you, don't do it. Like, that's what I mean. Like, if you're getting to the point where it's, like, aggravating you, like a toxic relationship, get out.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, if you're getting bitter, like, just know when to leave. Know when to leave the relationship. Know when to leave the job. Know when to leave the party.
Okay, well, anyways, for the last 2 minutes, let's talk about how our New Year's Eve was, because this old folks' home stuff is getting me angry. But how was your New Year's? We gotta talk about it in this episode because we can't talk about it next one, because then it'll be like a week after New Year's. Ouija, get off the counter! Psst. Oh, you.
Yeah, it was good. I went to the city. The thing we were supposed to go to canceled, so we just chilled. Yeah. Went for supper, went swimming.
I liked the Instagram story that you made, jumping into the new year.
Yeah.
And yeah, I drove a bus for a party of people, and it was really great. It was great. I rung in the new year with some interesting people that I really like, so it was a good time. Don't drink and drive. There's a lot of cops out, too.
Yeah, there was. Like, we stayed downtown in the city, and it was, like, nonstop sirens all night and all morning, too. It was just like, man, like, to be a paramedic in that city.
No doubt.
Like, y'all are also saints, because they go into some pretty traumatic shit, so.
All right.
I wouldn't, that'd be a tough job.
And with that, we love ya. Happy New Year. 2022 is going to be so...
Now, shut up. Let's not even talk about it.
Okay.
We're not going to say anything. It's not anybody's year. We're just going to go, like those memes. We're going to walk in. We're going to shut our mouths. We're going to stay quiet.
Okay. Bye.